Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the latest webinar in the Independent Gyms series. We've got a frequent visitor, frequent presenter in Harvey from Ashbourne Membership Management joining us today. You can see from the title, we're talking all about corporate schemes, corporate memberships. We're looking into essentially how you can approach local businesses and grow your scheme. I remember doing this when I was a membership advisor for various chains back in the day, and it was something I always I'll say disliked. It wasn't the easiest, it wasn't the most straightforward. I think there's a bit of a knack to it. So I know the obviously Harvey is Ashbourne Management, who are linked with Fit Club Redditch as well, so I know they do well with this kind of thing. It's my local gym. So yeah, on that note, let's hand straight over. There's going to be some giveaways at the end in terms of sort of I say data, some usable sort of templates and things. Harvey will explain a bit more about that, so stick around. Harvey, over to you.
Thanks, Rob. I saw your eyes glance across the title. It's not the sexiest title anyone's ever come up with.
But it works.
But yeah, feel free for anyone to jump in with questions as we go. But yeah, so this is how to approach local business and grow your own corporate scheme. Lots of gyms hate doing corporate schemes, even though they can be extremely good for actually growing your membership in a way that's, instead of going after the individual members, spending all your Facebook ads money, typing up loads of emails, doing all those follow-up calls. This is basically our kind of method of how you can actually like incorporate talking to corporates as part of your current marketing, so it's not unsustainable. A breakdown of the different types of corporate methods there are. And as Rob said, if you stick around, I'll give you like my contact details, and I'll be giving this out when Rob publishes to the Facebook group. So effectively, you can get in touch with me, and we've done all of the boring like communications, leaflets, all of the kind of brochures that you would actually give a corporate or a HR department who was interested in this stuff. And we can send you an editable file of it. And we've even got our main man, Aaron, who's our corporate expert. He can happily be contacted and walk you through like any of the technicals, like the tax stuff. So effectively, like I want to just make this the simplest all-in-one webinar about how to do this possible. Awesome. So I'll begin now. So this is the clarification, I guess, to start with, that all of this has been tested, which is a good start. As Rob mentioned, like we're affiliated with the Fit Club Redditch, we own it. It's one of our like more unique things we do as a club manager, in that we actually run a club, which is it's a beta test club. So anything we talk about or come up with, we effectively we test it in that club. We see if it works, and the good thing is if it fails, that's fine. We've tested it and it never even gets close to you. But if it succeeds, that's when we start passing it around. And as we have our thousands of partner clubs, so these are all the clubs that we work with and we manage on behalf of. We collect their direct debits, we provide them their software, we do their turnstiles and access control. And we start to, any ideas we come up with, we bleed out to them, and then we get feedback based on that. So we have this sort of constant ecosystem of idea testing. And of course, 25 years of wisdom, not for me. I haven't really been conscious for 25 years there, but Ashbourne as a whole has 25 years of working in the industry. Like, we have incredible industry oversight. We're one of the sort of longest standing club managers there is. So all of that together, we can really come up with some great ideas, test them, and then you can have the best of them. So I guess I'll introduce the Fit Club quickly. So the Fit Club was opened 2.5 years ago, and it was rebranded from a gym that's called Prime Fitness Redditch. It was a failing club at the time. And so Ashbourne took it over, and we started implementing all of our own systems in it and used it as a beta gym, because about 2.5 years ago, we really wanted to get into this kind of, getting in the dirt, actually testing stuff out, rather than a lot of the theoretical stuff, which we'd seen a lot of club managers providing as information. And as I say, we have our gym manager and brand consultant. So he manages the day-to-day at the gym, like any of the ideas we come up with. And then he works on Ashbourne's behalf to actually take all that information, simplify it, and communicate it to you. So everything we've discussed, he's the guy that turns the theory into practice. So he's been out, he's done all this, and I'm now here to tell you about it, because as the marketer at Ashbourne, I've obviously been involved in a lot of the marketing end of this project. So what is a corporate membership scheme? Most of you are probably going to know this, but a corporate scheme is where you offer discounted rates to an entire organization. And those rates can be tiered. So rather than just as you would with a normal member, you just give them a single, a single membership discount. With this, you can actually give a benefit. So the more members that an organization brings you, the higher their discount. And therefore, the good news about that is that you're only ever communicating with one single organization instead of 30 individuals. So that one organization can bring in 30 individuals. And a corporate membership, I think what puts a lot of gyms off doing a corporate membership is they can take many forms and they can be extremely complicated. There's loads of tax benefits and ways of doing it. And to be honest, like the more complicated it gets, you might need some additional software to handle it. So I want to go into the different payment methods and forms as we go on through the talk. And of course, a corporate scheme is usually associated with large gyms and chains. So we're going to be looking at how an independent gym can actually practically put this into motion. We all know Pure Gym, boo, is exactly the enemy of the independent gyms. They obviously have a very successful corporate scheme. And the reason they can do that is because if you call them up, they have a corporate department. So this is how you can actually practically do that with the existing staff that you have. So the pros of a corporate scheme, I've said some of them already, but membership boost, it gives you more members. It would be a waste of time to tell you about something that didn't get you more members. So that's one of the benefits. More exposure, but for less work. Now, I'm not saying there won't be work involved. I would never promise anyone that, but the entire idea behind a corporate scheme and why it's good is that instead of just targeting individuals with your Facebook ads, with your emails, with your phone calls, with your leaflets, you can now just by talking to one single organization, one single person, you have the ability to gain multiple members from that interaction. So instead of leafleting 30 people down an entire street, you can send one leaflet to an organization, and that can be part of a conversation that can start getting you dozens of members. Of course, you have word of mouth spread. People talk within a company, companies talk between each other. Word of mouth and referrals are one of the, even though I spend a lot of time working on Facebook ads and emails, the fact of the matter is that actually that really just goes into actually creating referrals and word of mouth. That's actually how we get most of our members. So by getting in touch with an organization and getting in front of a couple of dozen people straight away, you improve the ability to get word of mouth and referral marketing. And then, of course, potential partnership benefits. There are extra benefits to a corporate scheme in that, there are lots of businesses in your area, and you're an independent gym, you're fluid, you're dynamic, you can make deals on the fly. So one of the benefits is maybe you don't go for just a traditional sort of agreement that they get a discount. If you're if there's a fitness supplier in your area or an insurance company, maybe you can even incorporate those kind of benefits into your corporate scheme. It's a great way to ingratiate yourself within the community and get extra benefits and be able to provide your members extra benefits by making partners with these other businesses in your area. And then there are the cons. I'm happy to tell you about the cons because, of course, there are some. You will have to provide a good discount and better than one they could get individually. Of course, somebody is not going to be interested in your corporate discount that's done via work when the first thing they do is they go on your website to check you out, see if it's worth them signing up to the corporate discount, and they see an even better discount in person. They will just go straight for that. So one of the things you'll have to do is you're going to have to balance out your current discounts. Like if you've still got some wild post-lockdown discount to get people in that's offering 100% off the first month, and your corporate scheme doesn't measure up to that, you're going to have to stop that, or you're going to have to, hide it effectively so your corporate members won't know. That is unfortunately one of the things, no more wild big giveaways. When you have a corporate discount, you've got to be very careful about managing what you're giving away. It will take some legwork to set up. I'm going to show you how to remove a lot of the legwork, and I'm going to show you how to remove a lot of the problems with the resource and communications. I'm giving that away for free during this. So that will remove a lot of the problems and a lot of the research that's involved with this stuff. And then another con is it does require maintenance after the fact. It's not the case that you will just commence a corporate scheme and the business will do an amazing job of selling the gym to all of its members and everything will be fantastic. You are going to have to treat that corporate as an ongoing relationship. And you're going to have to be in touch with them. You know, you might even have to do some in-person visits to market to the office workers of that corporate on their behalf. So it will be an ongoing relationship. But the good thing is, in the way that you have an ongoing relationship with your current members, there is a way of treating a corporate like it's a member, so you don't actually end up spending that much more time on it. So the different types of corporate schemes. So one of the more popular ones is the corporate discount. And that is literally just a discount on the membership obtained by the employer. It's all paid by the employee directly. So most independent gyms use this. If you go on most independent gyms, they have a corporate membership. And if you're part of a company in the area that they work for, you will just have a discount from work. You select it, you pay for it. It effectively works like any other discount. So that's like the most simple version, but the only problem with it is that you can't start doing any of that really interesting like tiered discounts where the more a corporate pushes you and the more a company pushes you to its workforce, the more of a discount they get. So, but a corporate discount is the easiest one to implement. It's literally just done with discount codes, which of course we offer through our online joining system, but that gyms can implement through multiple other ways. The two really more interesting ways are there's the partial payment and the salary sacrifice. So this is a split contribution between employer and employee. So for the employers who aren't generous enough to pay for the entire gym membership, which some employers do, this is a way that via their salary system, you can effectively have the employee and the employer pay half, so the employee doesn't pay as much for their gym membership and the employer doesn't pay as much as if they were doing a full contribution. So this can be achieved in multiple ways. The money can either be deducted directly from the employee's salary and then the employer pays you the full amount, or it can be a direct payment by the employee. So the employer pays your amount and then you have a direct debit with the employee and they both pay you at the same time. The interesting thing about this is obviously based on how tax is worked out. This can be a really good upsell to a corporate, and this is what a lot of people miss out when they're selling to corporates. A lot of the time they'll just call up, they'll offer a discount code and say, you know, there are benefits to your membership, to your workforce being fit, and the corporate won't be interested because while that's a really nice thing they can do, they might shoot an email out. They don't really have any other benefits. So the interesting thing about things like salary sacrifice is that by the employer paying on their members' behalf, the way that the money's paid, they can actually start saving on, they can save on tax. The member themselves can pay on tax because obviously if it comes straight out of their salary, then the money that they save on the gym doesn't go through to the HMRC, who then claims the national insurance on it. So there are lots of like tax benefits to this, which a lot of gyms miss out. And that's one of the things that we can go into later and I can happily tell you about. And then there's obviously the full contribution, which is where the employer pays for everything, 100% funded. It is a benefit for working at the business. And these are especially really good for employers because, of course, all of this can be claimed as a tax deductible. So, and using our system, it's very easy to do. We can handle the online sign up and the invoicing of it. So it's more complicated to do on your own, but with our help, we can help you give the like tax arguments that would actually make a corporate more interested in it, aside from just it being a benefit for their members. So then what you need to actually get a corporate scheme going. So I've already said there's actually a lot of financial information that you need for an employee benefit scheme, especially if you're going to go down the the salary sacrifice and full contribution. There's a lot of tax information. They'll need to know, the HR department will need to know the tax forms they need to fill in. And it makes it easier on your end, that the easier you can make it for them. If you just say, these are the forms you need, here's your calculator for how much tax you'll save based on each customer. The more work that you can do for them, the more likely they are to be interested in it. And that's exactly the kind of information we can provide and help you with. just by getting in touch with us, we're happy to help you out with that. So then the things that you can do on your end, you need an individual responsible for the account. So you are going to have somebody who's in charge of the corporates. Now, that might sound quite scary to start with, but the benefit of this is that actually, if you treat a corporate like it's a single member, it's not actually that much more work. There's a lot. When you send out an email, obviously it has to be written differently. It has to be written to like it's a group of people rather than an individual. But if you actually have an individual looking after this and not just making corporate memberships and not following them up, then in terms of the actual like time spent, by having a relationship with a single corporate, it can give you a relationship with 30 members, which is actually in the grand scheme of things, a lot of time saved on a member by member basis. You will also want a dedicated web page discount code. So if you're going down the discount code route, and especially if you are selling a membership to a corporate, you are going to want a landing page that the corporate can link them to. Don't just have them link to your website, because they'll just get lost in your website. This is the benefit of a landing page on a website. It's somewhere they can send them with very explicit information. So every time you sign up a new corporate, the way to actually sell that membership to the corporate is make a new landing page, actually write the name of the company in that landing page, explain to that particular person in that company what the benefits are and why you should sign up. Make it as easy as possible for the corporate to sell your membership on its behalf. And the good thing about this is you can create one landing page and then just have, you can duplicate this for every single corporate that you do. So this kind of stuff doesn't have to take a lot of time, but if you are able to just edit your own website, you are going to need a web page for this. And then of course, the bulk invoices and account management. So if you are going to be handling each corporate account, you are going to need a way to be able to invoice that account, handle the payments, and manage those accounts. Now, of course, Ashbourne provide all of this. We have our own like corporate system that's all worked out on our end. So I'll give you our details at the end. We'd love to chat to you about that. But if you're just interested in finding out the basics, then you can still get in touch with us and we'll help you set up a corporate scheme purely with just all the tax information, all the resources you need. So how do we actually get in touch with those businesses without lots of messing around? Rob, of course, was reminiscing about himself as a 19-year-old being given the task of contacting these businesses. And it can be extremely grueling, but there is a simpler way of doing it. And there's a way that you can add it into your marketing to make it not as grueling as it needs to be. So one of the first things to do is learn who to actually get in touch with at a business. So if it's a mid to large business, they will have an HR department. They will be the people who will be handling this. So, you can go on their website, find out who's in charge of HR. That's usually accessible information. Call someone up at the business, find out who the HR department. They will be your point of contact. Don't be, contacting the receptionist or emailing the boss. For a business of a certain scale, you want to go for HR, and that's where you need to be going for. And then, of course, for smaller businesses, owner and director is the first person to go to. For any, you're all small business owners here. If you're not being extremely controlling of your business, then you're doing something wrong. And we know that directors of smaller companies should be really hands-on. It's also interesting because they can be a very good people to talk to about having that 100% contribution membership, because a lot of business owners like to look after their staff. They like to offer these extra membership benefits to have a long-term team stick with them. And so they can be if you have those tax arguments as well as the benefits, speaking to the owner directly who can make those decisions is a very good way of getting those kind of corporate schemes working, where the company pays on behalf of their members. And then, of course, we've got nothing beats a bit of door-to-door. Now, the most effective place to do door-to-doors we found is either local businesses right next to the gym, because they know the gym exists. It's on the same street, very easy to get in touch with, but also walking around industrial estates. Where we are in Redditch, we found there's 10 industrial estates. And it's not a huge amount of time to just allocate a few hours to just go door to door with a single leaflet of information, hand it at reception, have a quick chat. If the boss is in, talk to him, and then move on. It's firstly, actually, in the grand scheme of things, a lot cheaper than the mass leafleting campaigns which people do. Try and think of all the like big marketing things that you've wasted a lot of money on, and then think, would it be cheaper for me to just send one of my team for 4 hours around an industrial estate, hand out a single leaflet, and potentially get access to dozens of people? That can be a really quick way to get your foot in the door. And industrial estates are one of the quickest ways. Like if you're looking for people to get in touch with, it's a single Google of find an industrial estate, find everyone in that industrial estate, and just get the basic contact details, and then go in person or call on the phone. And it can be a very quick way within a few hours of just having 20 or 30 interested people who you've spoken to directly. And then, of course, contact information on the website. If you've got a corporate scheme, have it on your website. If you go on the Fit Club Redditch website, there is in memberships, there is a corporate page. And in that, we explain all the benefits of the corporate scheme. You don't always have to be so active. Like business owners, your business owner might use the gym and might not be aware that you have a corporate scheme. So have it on the website so that he can see it, and make it really easy for him to get in touch and have an email or contact form for the person who's responsible for the corporate scheme at your business. That's a nice passive way that you can get corporate inquiries. And we've got it on the Fit Club Redditch, and we've already started getting inquiries. It's a very nice way to get business without having to do all this footfall and communications. So then how to actually convince businesses of the value of the corporate scheme membership? Well, there's a lot of like, you're all fitness experts. There's a lot of obvious fitness ways that you can sell. It increases productivity. It reduces sickness and absenteeism. It increases job retention and satisfaction, especially if an employer is offering benefits like this. It reduces stress, and of course, it increases fitness. Because not that there aren't some amazing bosses out there, but while people being fit and healthy is a good thing in and of itself, some bosses might need a bit more of a economical argument. And the argument of that if you pay with salary sacrifice, it can save on taxes. And also that a fitter workforce does actually, they're off sick less. There is a lot of evidence and studies for this. It reduces the amount that they're off work. It increases productivity. A fitter workforce is a happier workforce. And these are exactly the kind of things that you can put in your communications, in your leafleting. And if you're going door to door, you can physically give that sales pitch to the director. So we want to look at engagement. So each corporate membership scheme should be treated as a partnership. It has to be treated as like a very, very, very special member. And it will require occasional maintenance to ensure that your corporates are pushing memberships on your behalf. So, I mean, this is why a lot of people often give up with corporate memberships. Is the problem is they get in touch with a corporate. They say, hey, we'll give you a discount code. Can you send it around the office? And they go, sure. And that's the last you hear about it. Because you need to be playing an active role. And it's not a waste of your time, because instead of just contacting members individually, to get around 30 members and call them all up and ask how they're doing, that might take hours. Whereas what might also just take an hour or two is just getting on the phone, sending out some emails, sending out some further communications. I'll go into some of the ideas, but that's what I'm talking about. You need to spend some time on it and stop thinking of it as if each corporate is worth one membership. Each corporate can be worth dozens and dozens of memberships. It's worth your time investing in these partnerships. So how to ensure that the corporate is messaging on your behalf and getting your point across? Well, one of the things is that you can, for emails, you can encourage the employees to sign up to your mailing list. So in your initial, when you ask a corporate to send out an initial email, why not add in a contact form? Make it so they can actually hear from you directly. And then if you can market to them directly, they know that their business has a corporate scheme. They might even personally ask to be involved in it. One of the other easy ways is to arrange with the company to send out your emails monthly. So if you have a monthly newsletter, get in touch with your corporate partner, ask them to send that out, because it doesn't take long. The content's already written, and you can have a single person email out to 30, 60, 100 employees with all that information, and they know that their business has a corporate scheme. You can sell it to them via them without expecting the corporate to pick up the weight and do all the marketing for you. Social media is another one. Like, get your business to spread your social media information. Why not them like and follow your page? Like, share stuff, get them to retweet stuff. You can even, if they have a very active social media, you can even at them on your social media. Like, be pushing it to people who would be reading the social media, which would be the employees. And then, of course, you can have open days. You have open days anyway. Why not do entire open days for employees of that company? Like, and this is the good thing, you can get in touch with HR, they can send out an email, make it be, you can even during the day, you can have it after work, but have planned days to get entire corporate members down to actually try out the gym. And then, of course, once they like the gym, then you have this word of mouth spread. All of these little moves that you can do they can escalate into lots of word of mouth across the company. And even more direct, you could even offer to do a workshop. This could be either inviting people down to the gym, or we did this recently, actually, at the Redditch Council. We had somebody go over to the council building and actually provide a workshop, and that got people reinvigorated and signing up for the membership. And it's only a few hours of your time. It's as quick as a door-to-door, but you might go there and it's literally a sales pitch to 30 or so members. How much would you pay to know that you could go and do a sales pitch to 30 members of the public who might be interested? Definitely go and do that. It makes your partners, it makes the corporate partner happy, and it's a really good way of pitching the gym as a service that people should be interested in. Perfect. So this was the big promise I was making at the start. This is the hard bit made easy. So one of the more complicated aspects of selling your corporate scheme is you need all these resources. You need your communications, you need your leaflets, you need information on the gym. You need to be able to, if you go to an HR department, they will ask you, hey, what forms do we need? What tax benefits is there to this? And you need to be able to explain those earlier different ways of doing a corporate scheme, that it can be a voucher system, it can be a salary sacrifice, it can be 100% contribution. So one of the easiest ways to do that is obviously having these leaflets, these brochures to give out. And it can be very tedious to do the work. And secondly, to make a lovely brochure. So we've already made a lovely brochure, and we do that for the Fit Club. And I have an editable, unbranded version. So feel free to email me, harvey@ashbournemanagement.co.uk. All of this information will be in the comments when Robert posts this to the group. But this is just a really simple way for you to just instantly have all of the communications and all of the stuff you need. And all you need to do is rebrand it. And additionally, as you can see, all of this has been prepared by Aaron Chapman, who's our Fit Club manager and implementer. He's our scientist over at the Fit Club. So I can also put you in touch with him. And once you have all this information, he can then walk you through all the tax benefits. So if you need to go to a gym and you need to go to a corporate and actually talk about this information, you can have all that information outside of the leaflet. You can have a better understanding of that. So that's my giveaway. Anyone here, I'll get all the viewers' emails from Rob at the end of this, so I can email that out. But anyone afterwards, that's the email to get in touch with. And I just wanted to, now that I've given you all the goods, but I would insist that you stick around just briefly, because I also wanted to talk about a council membership scheme, which is slightly different to a corporate membership scheme, but the council is an untapped resource, and we were completely unaware of this until a few months ago. But while we were setting up our corporate scheme, we got in touch with our local council because their offices are right across the road. And so we wanted to start just by offering them a basic corporate scheme for the people in that office. And of course, literally when they leave the office, they see us. it's firstly, it was a very easy sell because the gym was always present to them. We could walk straight into reception. We got in touch immediately with the person at HR, the person who was in charge of fitness, and the council. They were very, very, very enthusiastic about getting this started. And beyond just the corporate scheme for the office itself, a lot of people won't be aware of how many schemes and initiatives that the council have. While nobody would usually do this, if you go on the council's website and look through all the proposals, they will have so many targets about fitness targets they want to hit, fitness within the community, fitness within their own employees. And what you're effectively doing is, when you go to the council and say, hey, we have a gym that we are happy for, we want members of the community to use. I'm not saying that the council, don't council members don't have a reputation for working hard, but it won't surprise you that the council will be incredibly happy to take you up on any help they can in achieving those initiatives. They have a lot to worry about. So, if you as a gym can become the meeting place for stuff like local marathons, local fun runs, they will be very, very happy to have you on speed dial to be the host of that. Not only that, actually, in terms of another monetary advantage, they also, there's lots of potential funding and fitness schemes and the council. They are given these fitness schemes, and if you can be the one gym in the area who is approaching your council and being very enthusiastic about saying, hey, we'd love to provide this service, is there anything you can help us with in order to assist in that? You can definitely assist yourself in getting some potential funding from the council. And one of the more interesting things that we learned is that that the gym has a process of signposting. And signposting is effectively, they will have local partners who, as part of the schemes that they run, they will recommend people to their local partners. So this is for groups like older people, there's students and people in education, there's like vulnerable people, which could be for, people who are lonely, disabled people, and even like, there's like groups for children who have Ashbourne and want to, enjoy an activity like going to the gym. There's many ways that the council will be happy to recommend you to these groups. And the interesting thing is that a lot of these demographics will be, firstly, inaccessible. It is extraordinarily hard to market to older people using things like your Facebook ads. Older people primarily will read printed media. And the problem with that is that as less people have started using printed media for advertising, it's become incredibly expensive. And it's very much a bit of a Hail Mary. If you put something in a magazine, you can't target it, you can't do anything. You just kind of hope that people will see your advert across 60 pages. So getting in touch with the council and becoming their official fitness partner allows them to signpost on your behalf. So all of these schemes that the council are running, get in touch with your council, be enthusiastic, and be their one-stop shop for their fitness needs, because they will be very happy to use you. And we've seen a lot of success with the Redditch Council. I really hope that your councillor is as enthusiastic as ours. They might not be, but ours has been absolutely incredible in helping us, be involved in these initiatives. So even if you're not interested in doing a corporate scheme, get in touch with your council. Read the council's fitness initiatives, go in with solutions of how you can quickly attain them. They will be extremely enthusiastic. And then finally, it's my thanks for coming. So I put my email address, harvey@ashbournemanagement.co.uk. I will happily get you set up with all of the resources I've talked about. And then my colleague, Aaron, will very, very, very happily have a meeting and talk to you about the actual sort of the more niche aspects of a corporate scheme, such as the tax benefits and what forms are needed. So by contacting both of us, you can have a corporate scheme and all the information very quickly without having to do any research yourself. And then, of course, if you want to learn more about Ashbourne, we offer services like this. We offer loads of help to our partner gyms. We do access control. We do the direct debit collection. We can set up an online joining page. We can redo your website. There's unlimited things that we can do. We like to be the all-in-one club management company. So if you head to our website, www.ashbourne-memberships.com, our team, Grant and Shannon, will happily chat to you, hear what you need, and give you a demo of the system. And but thanks for coming. I will email all of that out to anybody viewing this now, but I'm available to chat to whenever you need going forward. So thank you very much, Rob. Are there any questions?
Brilliant, Harvey. Thank you very much. I've scribbled some down. I tried to ask them as we was proceeding, but I realised I was on mute and you'd moved on each time. So definitely wasn't any technical issues with this one. So I'll be scribbling notes down, and it's sort of a blast from the past for me, because I'm not sure they didn't like doing it. As you grow in your role as a membership sales sort of person, you kind of learn a bit more, don't you? So it's it's interesting. I've scribbled down. I think for me, all of these things you do, corporate memberships, whatever it is, referrals, it's all part of the overall marketing mix. Yeah. So it's not a case of let's spend a week solid doing corporates. It's like factor it in a few hours at a time. Obviously, if you have a dedicated sales resource that can do these things, it's brilliant. But if you're sharing the wealth, sharing the workload amongst the team, it's a case of just splicing it up in little bit, small chunks, I think, is the key for me. So I don't know whether you guys do that at Fit Club or whether you're just all in.
No, so well, I mean, hopefully, I'm hoping I said that while I was talking. It's very easy to leave stuff out, but yeah, as you say, that there aren't corporate days. It's not like we have to do that corporate thing. You can factor this into while you're writing an email, while you're writing your membership newsletter. These are the kind of things that you can share with your corporate partners. You can you can make a database of people in HR to get in touch with them and say, hey, can you share this out with your group? We use our own CRM, and so the beauty of that is we have a sales system where whenever everybody gets in touch with the gym, we can create it's effectively kind of like a notepad system where you can just stick notepads along a sales process. So you can say, need to call them. That's what we do with every member. We like to give them a ring, and then we follow them until they've actually become a member. But you can use that exact same system with your corporates. Nice. You can have a completely different sales pipeline. When they get in touch, you can be like, right, this is Bed Bath and Beyond. They're interested. We've sent the brochures, we've sent the leaflets. They've got a thing. 2 weeks down the line, you can be like, oh, we haven't had any memberships from them. Let's go over, visit, do a workshop. So it's exactly the same sales process that you would use with existing members.
I like it. You mentioned the three types. So obviously, where you give a discount and the member just pays themselves. Mm-hmm. You get the cream of the creme de la creme, whatever you say, where the company just goes, here's all the money. But then there's that split payment contribution. As well. So thinking from an Ashbourne products sort of area. Does your system allow us 2 direct debits that feed into one membership, so the company can pay and then they can pay, or how would you manage that from a split payment perspective?
To be honest, the easiest way that we would often do that is the salary sacrifice system, which is the better way to go, primarily because it's better tax-wise for the business and the member. So that's extremely simple because that's a single direct debit from the employer. But yeah, we can do the split. And we can take separate direct debits, but it wouldn't be our recommendation, as you can see from my pause. It's a little bit more fiddly.
And as you were saying that, I kind of thought to myself, I probably wouldn't do that either. So there we go.
Well, the salary sacrifice is, there's loads more tax benefits there. And to be honest, it's a lot better as well, because if you do a separate direct debit, if the member cancels their direct debit, obviously as Ashbourne, we do the follow-up, we do all of that kind of stuff on your behalf, but you're basically paying for 3/4 of a membership. So actually, practically, even without the direct debit collection, it's probably a worse way to go. Because you're kind of chasing one person while the employer is paying their end and saying, why can't they use the gym?
And I suppose thinking from a tax benefit as well, if you was going to look at the fully paid up company pays for the whole membership scenario, if you tap into them towards the end of their financial year, typically April, there's probably a bit of budget dumping going on as well. You might have a better more luck from the corporate side. If you know that companies are willing to pay for their memberships up front, you could get some chunky revenue.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the same when you're like, if you're doing an expo and you want people to join in, it's much better to get in touch with them, during the April period where they're working out their budgets. So there's absolutely a strategy to this. There's absolutely a strategy to all of this of when to get in touch with people.
Yeah, scribble those two out. You talk about sort of managing the corporate scheme as well. So obviously the members join and keeping the members happy. That's kind of the day to day.
Yeah.
But to keep the access to the corporate scheme, we talk about working with the HR department, and I'll just scribble down here. Your members have to be happy, but you've got to keep that your gatekeeper for the company. You've got to keep them sweet. Yeah. And I'll just put down there: take them for lunch once a month, keep in touch with them, treat them as a sale, keep them happy as well. And because if they keep the door open to the company, hopefully the trickle of memberships keeps going.
No, I completely agree, and the benefit of that is that you are effectively, you're dealing with one member. So you can absolutely take them for lunch. I would, if I was in the HR department, I'd be very happy with that. But you don't really, like, other than just, acting like you care and you're interested in the partnership, it's an email a month just to keep them sweet, send them over some stuff to share. You don't really, like, I think a lot of people sometimes think of a corporate membership as, oh God, it's a huge hassle, but it's really not. Just to drop an email to someone who is giving you access to possibly hundreds of potential members. Yeah,
I agree. I think a lot of the hard work is the beginning, getting up and running. And I think if you kind of unintentionally ignore that contact, that's when the hard work just fizzles out. So I think it's just important to keep your main contact happy and let your team keep the members happy.
We talked about this in a previous webinar, just about, like, people will spend crazy money on, like, leafleting. Like, just, I've seen people spend up to like £4,000 just like leafleting an entire area.
Wow.
And it's just go with a leaflet in hand and go and talk to a corporate, like, instead of giving it across an entire street. Like, it's worth a lot more of your time. It's easier to go to 30 businesses than 30 houses on the street.
I agree. And the last one, the council membership is an interesting one. And obviously, knowing Redditch, I can see how you've had sort of good progress with Redditch Council, because they've really only got one centre, haven't they? The provision isn't great from a local authority perspective.
Yeah,
so they can tap into the private side as well.
Well, they do have a gym which they offer to people, but it's outside Redditch.
Yeah.
So, and I was blown away. We were the only gym that had approached and been like, "Hey, do you want to use our gym?" Yeah. They were like, "Yeah."
Well, that was the note that I've scribbled down, because I think there's automatically an assumption that, well, they've got their own facilities, they won't work with us.
Yeah.
But then you also have to remember, some councils have thousands of employees in an office, or grounds, binman, teacher, all those different employees satellite located around. They don't all want to go to the local authority. They will go to other centres, other facilities. So I think lose the assumption that councils won't work with private facilities, and just make that contact. If you can make the contact and they can offer choice out to their members, I think you're onto a winner.
Yeah, and it looks good for them. Like, they have initiatives. If you can help them do it, hell, there's no councillor who won't be like, the next election, they'll be like, look at all the initiatives I've done. No one's going to turn that down. But I do agree with you. There is this weird kind of thing that they think they won't work with private companies, which is not true at all.
I agree. That was it. That's all I've scribbled down. So
awesome.
Thank you very much for hosting again, Harvey. This is becoming a regular thing.
Thank you for inviting me. I enjoy these, and it's good to give all this information out, because this kind of stuff isn't really readily available unless you're doing it.
I agree. Yourself. And so on that note, when we share this, we're going to post, or you'll see the post obviously because you've clicked on this. So we'll drop Harvey's email and how you can reach out direct to receive the editable templates and so on, or you'll work with the clubs on that as well. And then we've got another webinar on the 1st of July that I'm not sure if it's Harvey's hosting, but Ashbourne are hosting. So keep an eye out for that one. I'll post a link to register. But on that note, Harvey, thank you very much for hosting today. Thank you very much for joining us. We'll see you on the 1st and then the 5th of July at the summer conference. So if anybody's watching this and hasn't got their ticket yet, if you don't know what it's about, then I'm not sure where you've been looking lately, because it's everywhere. But join us on the 5th of July as well for a great day at the summer conference. So yeah, thank you very much, Harvey, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you very much, Rob. Bye,
Cheers.
everyone.